Just a filthy, filthy night here. I was lucky. It just spit rain until the 5th. Now I got to wait around for Militant to the 15th. Usually, you'd asked me a month ago and said, hey, Anthony, you stick around and drive Militant the 15th race in the rain at Northfield? Probably going to get a hard no. But truthfully, he's been racing good, and I'll suck it up and go get my mud gear on, my heavier mud gear on, and race Militant. Now, obviously, I'm not the only one to hate the mud. I just watched Halley in the Clouds act up going to the gate. For me, that looks like a horse that just didn't want to participate tonight. And, you know, we got to shake the rust off this filly and get her going in the right direction. I'd love to tell you, hey, I can come home and race her next start. Obviously, that's not likely to be possible. Today is what? Wednesday? She didn't do much racing this evening. There might be a chance she could just find her way into school on Friday if she wanted to be a little rude. I don't know. I don't know if something's bothering her or whether she was just acting up, but I'll talk to Dominic and see what is up with Halley in the Clouds tonight. See what Austin, I believe Austin Sorry was driving her, what he said and what he thought. Now, enough about mistakes behind the gate and acting up. Let's talk about, I talked about yesterday. I wanted to expand a little bit on the races that I watched yesterday. Sweeney, I thought, raced fantastic. Come out of the race good. Everything is good. Right back in. We'll keep jamming him in those classes until we can't get in them anymore. Or until somebody claims him, I suppose. But that's a great spot for Sweeney to be in. All gas, no brakes. A little surprising. New lifetime mark. The way that he did it, coming off some very shaky-looking chart lines. And quite frankly, I was adamant about it all week. I didn't think last night would be his best effort. His training mile, what day is today? Yesterday must have been Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. Friday morning, I trained him at Mohawk. I thought he trained good, but I'd said to Dominic, you know, if he doesn't race well, I think he could even go with a set of aluminums up front. I guess that's a moot point because he looked pretty good last night. Back in to go Monday. James is driving him from post 8. Chris has his own horse in there from the middle of the gate. And then Chicago Hall did, in fact, bleed a little bit last night. We knew that going in. I knew it. I still thought coming in the last turn he was going to win. But for him to race the way he did, 56-4, 28-2 on the end of it, and he did bleed. You have to look at the way that race shaped up, the way the race went, the way that he raced. And I would think if you can, it's hard. It's hard for every horse, but if you can extrapolate and say, okay, well, if he didn't bleed, because he is a nice horse. It's not just that, oh, he's an okay horse and he bled and he should be better if we don't. This is a very good horse, I believe. And if we can plug him up for the rest of the allergy season, the rest of the summer through the heat, I think we could have ourselves a really, really talented stake colt. You know, remnants to me of the way 3 Point Blue Chip was when he was 2. We talked about him, how he had bled a little bit at 2. Not outrageously. Maybe a little bit less than what we saw last night, but keep in mind, bled a tiny bit Friday, then came back on Tuesday. That compounding effect would put a little more blood in there than you want to see. There wasn't an outlandish amount of blood, but there was a little bit, more than enough for us to say, okay, we got to at least think about Lasix. We knew it going in. We were likely putting him on Lasix, and we will. So I suspect the next time you see him in a stake race in 15 more days or 16 more days, you're going to see a really, really nice colt emerge, I believe, from Chicago Hall. Now, today, I drove home last night because I wanted to get up today. There was a ton of rain coming, but you never know at Northfield how bad it's going to be or when it's going to come or if it's going to be intermittent. It looked like there was a window in the morning, and there was. It rained hard off and on a few times, and then the sun came out and it was hot. We trained 3 horses this morning. Trained Melisandre with Fire and Shine. We were prepping Fire and Shine for a Buckeye next week, and trained Melisandre with her. She was awesome. We went a mile in 2:10 and a piece, 2:11. I think like 2:10 and 3, 2:10 and 4 last quarter, and had to be 30 and a bit last half, 1:02 and 2. I thought she was very good, and Fire and Shine was very good also. And the big story for me of the morning, though, was Rose Run Alexandra. Trained her in 2:4 and a bit last quarter, in 28-3, 28-2. Now, she hasn't raced in her last charted line going into this race would be over 40 days, or close to 40 days. But when I look at what she's done in those 40 days, we've galloped her a lot. I mentioned that the other day, and somebody messaged me and said, Anthony, why would you gallop a 2-year-old pacer I don't understand why you would do that. That's a great question. So, the very natural, the most natural gait of any horse is to run, is to gallop. And you'll never see a horse hit their knee or interfere on the gallop. You don't see thoroughbreds wear knee boots for that very reason. And it's a good way to get cardio in them. And it's a good way to keep them out of their knee. When Rose Alexandra hit her knee, she cut it. It got a little bit infected and it blew up. And it's a scary type of injury, because although it can heal up quickly and not be that serious if you can mitigate that interference, or it can go the other way, and if they're constantly going to get at it, it's a real problem. And quite frankly, it can be very detrimental to the rest of their season and possibly their career if they continue to interfere. So the whole point was to heal that knee up, get that swelling down. There's still her left knee is still 15 to 20% larger than her right knee. And to get that down as much as you can, change her shoes, change her gear, and try and keep her out of her knee. Now, I put her in, I didn't want to shove her into a bad spot today training because I wasn't positive, but as we got past the 3/8 coming to the half, I could tell that she wasn't interfering the same way. Once in a while I'd hear her pick the cup of that knee boot, but not really get into it the way she had been at the open house, the qualifying day, in the week leading up to that. So put her in gear around the last turn. She was really pacing. I heard her pick it a couple of times. I'm watching her also. We come out of the turn and again picked once, but not come right at it and hit it. Just kind of tick off the point of the knee. Didn't bother her knee at all. Her knee was great. Her training mile was great. I think we have her good for the Stallion Series or the Buckeye Series next week. So we'll have Gorgeous Package, Foxy Seaside, and Rose Run Alexandra in the Buckeye next week. Now, yes, we dropped them down. I can make a case for every one of those horses to be competitive in the sire stakes, but we want our horses to go out and do very well. Chasing Speed, not a fan of it to begin with. There was a lot of horses look good. There's a lot of horses that have qualified and raced that have looked good. Let's just survey the scene for a little while. If I'm not mistaken, the Buckeye is right here in our backyard, so why not just take advantage of that and let the horses come forward on their own. So thoroughly impressed with what I saw from the training today. Then I got home, Lonely Lakewood. You talk about a horse that looked like he bled. Start him up first over, kind of flat when he moved him, fizzled out. You could tell he tried down by the wire. I don't even know if he got up to finish fifth or not, but looked like he was doing all he could, but couldn't make headway in a mile that seemingly he should have been very competitive in. And then sure enough, under scope, 2 out of 5 for blood. They must watch the videos. They said 2 out of 5, or it was Tim that said 2 out of 5. Or maybe it was actually 2 out of 10. I'm not sure. It was 2 out of something. Enough that I would say, again, you're looking at allergies, you're looking at the way he raced. I just looked at him with my own eyes and watched him race and said, there's a horse that is struggling. If it's bleeding, then we can fix it. So Lonely Lakewood will enter the Lasix program also. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, I felt bad that everybody's used to our horses coming to the track ready to rock, and you can see that by the odds. There's no way you see the one horse with a qualifying line in 201, our horse with a qualifying line of 207 and 1, and we go away 9-5, 2-1. I like Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, but as I said to everybody, one of my least favorite things to do is that old school racing where we're going to race them into shape. I hate that. I hate when you bring a horse to the track knowing that it is not ready to go to the winner's circle tonight. You're prepping the horse and allowing them to learn, virtually training it at the races. I hate that. It's one of my least favorite things to do, but with Bluebird, I knew he was probably ready for 2-3, 2-4, 2-5. I just wanted to get him some exposure to the gate in a racing situation. We don't have sets anymore. Our horses are ready to go. We could re-qualify him or school him, but we have the Buckeye coming up also. And in the Buckeye this time of year, if you have a horse that trots and is getting better, I would say Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, if we reran this race in 6 or 7 days, he could probably trot in 2-2 or 2-3. You're going to see him get progressively better because that is what he was ready to do tonight. What you saw from Bluebird tonight is not how we generally train horses, is not how we generally race our 2-year-olds. It's not foreign to me. As a horseman that's worked for a lot of horsemen, driven for a lot of people, what is going on with him is not foreign to me. It's just not something I'm a big fan of. But when I looked at the alternatives, we don't have sets going right now. We don't have any horses training around 2-4, 2-5. It's tough to get schoolers. You might go out in a schooler and have 3 guys in a jog cart and going in 2-12. You never know what you're going to get. Putting him back in to qualify, what are you going to follow in They might go in 55. They might go in 2.6. Let's just put him in the maiden. We know where they're going to go. Right around 2 minutes to 2.5. Somewhere in there. Well, not 2.5, but 2 minutes to 2.3. Let's just put him in and get him some experience. And that's what tonight was all about. I wasn't disappointed with Bluebird at all. I'm sure I'm going to have people email me and say, what's wrong with Bluebird? You guys are not used to us bringing our horses looking like that to the track, like they're going to learn to get better. But trust me when I tell you, Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, factoring on in all the sickness, the time he missed recently and from the open house, he wasn't ready to do anything more than 2.4. So I certainly wasn't disappointed with Bluebird Tuxedo Hill. And then don't talk about Bruno, second in the mud. He's got a nice gait. I think he's going to make a nice... I think he's on a horse that's going to come forward throughout his 3-year-old season and be a decent horse. Hopefully we can keep him on the roster throughout 2024 into 2025, because I think a horse like him that grows up and the gait that he has, the attitude, he doesn't have a bad attitude. I think he's going to be a decent horse for us. Don't talk about Bruno. Raced all right. Third, 57 in the mud? Like, it's pouring rain. I don't even want to watch the race. It's so muddy, let alone envision being in it. And they went 57. He finished third. It was a good mile for him. And then Hallie acted up at the gate. That just, to me, I know where she's at. I don't want to race tonight. I get where you're coming from. I don't want to race tonight either. But we both have a job to do. One of us is going to get it done tonight, and one of us did not. So Hallie needs to be on her toes. That's one thing, when it comes to young trotters, especially when you got the rail or you're in a position where you want to be a little aggressive at the start, I always want to have the horses on their toes. And if you get them flat-footed and on their heels and walking around before the race and then go to use them at the start, one, they're either going to be useless, or two, they're going to make a break. And Hallie tonight, the rail, tough spot to ask her and Austin to leave from, but she needs to do a better job than that. That's for sure. So we'll see what comes out of this race with her. She's kind of in between, right? Not kind of a grassroots filly, but should be effective in the classes like this. And quite frankly, she's the type of horse also, if this was a month later, she might be coming over here to the Meadows or Northfield to race for a couple of starts to get woke up. Much like, just shake them up. Take them out of their normal routine. Open their eyes, And that's what we did last year with, what was the horse we did it with? A good horse ended up going back to Harry. We brought him to the Meadows. He raced really good for 2-3 starts. We brought him back home and he did really well. Obviously a better horse, but same type of situation. It'll come to me. You don't have to give me a name. And then later on tonight, we have Militant. Now, a lot going on. Amy and I were on the phone for 40 minutes tonight trying to figure out, okay, what are you doing this day? Where are we going? I said, I can come home Saturday afternoon after the Meadows, probably, and then stay overnight Saturday, go to Ollie's. Ollie has some sort of all-star team tryout that he wanted, because it's not enough on his schedule. He wanted to try out for the team. That's Sunday afternoon. We have to race Sunday night over here. It's just, we're trying to do the best we can and get to see each other and have the family together as much as we can. But we know the entire month of July is just an absolute circus. So for me, tomorrow, super excited about Country Dancing racing. It looks like she's in a soft spot, but there's never any gimmies. It's a good spot for her. I'm really excited about Green Glitter. She raced great the other day. I think we had a lot to work on with her feet and her stifles and her back. If Tim has her trotting good tomorrow, I think we could see a real good side of Green Glitter tomorrow afternoon. Serious Dragon, I don't know if I've ever driven him. If I did, maybe once. I get to see him tomorrow. Looks like a tough spot for him, right? Looks like a tough field for that horse tomorrow. We'll see how he does. And then later on in the day, to finish off our day, by the looks of this calendar, is Kenobi. Now, Friday, lots going on Friday. Somebody messaged me and said, Anthony, I will tell everybody this. We have a little bit of sickness in the barn right now. It's not rampant, but there are some horses, and Roser and AJ was a little bit sick after his race. Now, did that lead to that bleeding? Probably. Did that lead to that flatness? Possibly. A lot of coughing, a lot of mucus, and it's Wednesday. And I can assure you, if he does not get a green light from Dr. Latessa Friday morning, he is not going to Scioto Downs Friday night. And I'm sure my partners don't want to hear that, but that's the way it is. And I don't have to tell you why, right? The horses have to be 100% healthy if they're going to go to the track, especially horses that we just put on Lasix. Absolutely, 100%. So we'll see how that plays out. That's something that I'm watching kind of on the periphery. Jason and Dr. Latessa are doing their thing there. I'm just looking for daily updates. I'll see Roser and AJ tomorrow afternoon myself. So Arrowhead Hanover, Really, really excited about him now. I can assure you he's not getting away fourth on Friday night. He's going to be close to the pace. I want to see if we made the right choice putting this horse in the sire stake. I believe we did, but we're going to find out. It's the first sire stake of the year, so it's nothing to go crazy about, but at the same time, he is coming in sharp. He is coming in position to do well, and I expect him to do well Friday evening. Manhattan Money in the Stallion Series, again, very similar situation. I expect him to do well on Friday evening. Drebin, I see he's 10-1. He's moving up in class, but this horse has been good. I hope James chooses to race this horse near the front. I'd rather not see him get away 6th or 7th, and you know what happened last week, and I just want to see the horse raced. We're in the heat of the summer now. School's out. Now it's time to race, and he does have some stakes in August, or at least one that I'm eyeing, and I want to see this horse raced a little bit. I want to see him fought with and brought off the back of the pace. You don't need to see that right now. I want to see him raced. So, and then that's a tough thing to ask. When you're 10-1 morning line, I have no idea who he's in with. I don't know those horses, but if they're killers, you can't ask James to go out in a suicide mission also. So I'm curious what will happen. We're all going to see it together unfold Friday night. JK Victory, I did not know he was in Friday. 10-1 morning line. He is up in the open. Ouch. That sucks. Is that the open? Pace 10. Condition open 2. Open 1-2. So it's looks like it's a handicapped open 1/2. It's the open. And ready for landing. What are his odds? 6-1. I think they're making a mistake. I wouldn't sleep on this guy. Ready for landing is sitting on a big mile. If I can coax him into a nice position and race him the way we did the other day, he's sitting on a big mile, as is the next guy up to the plate, 3-point blue chip. 2 horses that are gonna kick end off Friday night in a big way for me in Pennsylvania. But our Friday's not done. Century Legion. What are his odds? Century Legion, 7-2 coming into the race. James is going to drive him. I'm excited to watch him race. And then we end our night, potentially, after what I just told you, Dancing in My Socks, 8:52 at night, and Rose Run AJ. Got to be healthy. Sunday, there's some things not loaded on the calendar right now that I saw, but Sunday we have Grand Slam Dio. Pete Wren is going to fill in. I wasn't going to get down there to drive. Now, I thought that Scotty would take Pickpocket. I'm a little surprised he picked Memory and Imagination, but not really, I suppose. Pickpocket, you may remember, Pete Wren did drive him last year at the Red Mile also once. Grand Slam Dio, I talked in depth with both the vet and Dr. Andy Roberts and Eric, and the way I left it was simple. If you think that she has a clean bill of health to race on Sunday, so be it. We can race her, but I really thought that she wouldn't, and obviously Dr. Roberts had greenlit her entry on Sunday afternoon, and Eric chose to race her, so she's in with Gymboree. Pete Wren is going to drive Grand Slam Dio. Gymboree, Scott Zarin is going to drive, and then we have Memory and Imagination, Pickpocket, Arson, Westland Warrior, and Memento Mori. Now, if I look at my Sunday really quick, it's a little different story. I'm going to get some emails, I'm sure, from my partner, St. Anthony. Oh, he'll know in the sire stakes? Well, truthfully speaking, I don't really want to go to the Buckeye with just the one filly. And I think, truth be told, don't sleep on this filly. That was a big mile over that fair. I told you, just throw those times out. But the work that she did to go 2 to 3 seconds faster, 4 seconds in one division than the other fillies, they're not sire stake horses, I'm sure, also. But she's no slouch. I think she's probably ready to trot in 59 in 2 minutes in a solid fashion. Is everybody she's in with? Maybe. But I'm certain there's going to be breakers, and as long as we're not one of them, we have a striker's chance with a 7-horse field going for $50,000. And quite frankly, at some point, what we want to do, if we figure she's a good Buckeye filly, if we say, okay, she's not a sire stake filly, it's okay. Well, that's fine. We still have an opportunity to race her in the sire stakes constellation, and to do that, she would have to race in the sire stakes at some point. Why not do it right now when she's more apt to get as many points as she may get right now? So a number of reasons to race her. One, it's in our backyard. It's right here at Northfield, a track she's comfortable with, a track that she's used to. So we have the home field advantage, right? It's the first one of the year. I could give you a multitude of reasons to race her in the sire stakes and only a couple to race her in the Buckeye, and that's exactly why she's in race 4 on Sunday night, my first drive. But the most impressive thing to me was that mile in Marion. not the speed, but the way she did it and the professionalism in which she did it. Yeah, I was really impressed with her. Race 6, Aunt Lily's got the 6 hole. Some killers in there too. Up's a nice filly. Brink Street's the one that won in 58 the other day at the Meadows. I saw her qualify the one day at the Meadows. She's a nice filly, also a long tom filly. And then Dreams Something on the rail was a winner in 2 minutes here last week. So good horses in there, but they're going to be watching us more than we're going to be watching them. I'm sure of that. Race number 8, Freedom Hill. Again, there's Mocha Hill. This is that filly that run me down last week. We're going to be a little tighter this week. Old Mocha's not going to blow right by us. It's quite as easy, I don't think. As I say that, maybe she's just a killer. I don't know. But Freedom Hill's no slouch. She's going to get raced, and it should be a lot of fun on Sunday evening. Race 8. Go to race 11. We have Greatest Ending. Probably going to see a much the same as last week. We're not going to overpower this field as easily as we did the other one last week. But at the same token, we're going to race Greatest Ending again. He's going to get raced on Sunday night. And then Stay Close again. Not my favorite place to be at Northfield. This guy, I don't feel he's as powerful here right now, but there was no class for him. We did actually enter him at the Meadows, and he did not come out. So we're left with this right now. So play the hand you're dealt. That's exactly what we're going to do Sunday night. So that is Sunday. They haven't drawn Monday yet. Saturday, obviously, will be the return also of Time Is On My Side. I'm really, really, really excited about that. He's not the only one. We have Blue Ventura. Somebody said, what happened to the final of Pop-Up? Well, shockingly enough, when you card the Pop-Up series right around Sire Stakes and Buckeyes and Stallion Series and everything else, you can't fill it. You know, when you looked at the trotting fillies last week, there was like 4 horses that weren't racing in a Stallion Series event or in a Sire Stake event. There was no way to fill this class. They're racing it on Saturday, right? And then come back Wednesday in Philadelphia with a Stallion Series. I was a little skeptical if we should go Thursday, Wednesday. This puts Green Glitter on 6 days, which just means light training in between. I'm okay with that. But who the hell would race their horse Saturday, back Wednesday in Philadelphia? It's an inferno down there. It just makes no sense to me, and just poor carding from what I could see. And the same with Blue Ventura. A lot of horses not racing there this week. We raced him. He drew the 7 hole in the maiden. Not the end of the world. But my eyes will be fixated on Time Is On My Side. The Adios is coming up. I can't race him very, very hard. Obviously, he's been off a month. But he's going to get raced. And then we finish out the day with Kings County, also another horse that will be raced on Saturday. So a lot of hard racing coming up. A lot of fun racing coming up. It should be a great time. Good today. Hasn't poured rain, but you know what? It's not supposed to start hard for another 40 minutes. I'm sure it's coming. So with that, I will let you go. I'll talk to you all very soon. I hope you are having a good day, have had a good day. Lots going on at the barn. It's one of those days where I can't focus on one simple thing. There's just a million things coming at me from a million directions. And if something was forgot, if you sent me an email and I didn't send it back or a message, just give me some time. I'll get through them. But don't forget, don't wait too long. I may have made a mistake. Maybe your email's in drafts. Maybe I forgot to respond. And just shoot me another response. Say, hey, what about this? So with that, I'm going to let you go. As I said, I hope you guys are having a great week. We're off to a flying start this summer. And I hope to keep it going in the mud in race 15 tonight at Northfield with Militant. Take care.